So you guys are able to see my screen, right? Okay. ठीक. Okay. So what I have tried to do here is, right, I'll just check what I have tried. Even and prime की series. Okay, so that's what I have tried. I guess I had given the question odd and prime series, but the code which I have written is even and prime series. Okay, and I did not take it from user. I'll say cout enter n cin n. मैंने रन करके नहीं देखा. ऐसे 5 0 2 3. Okay, this is working. Okay, 12 6 12. Okay, working. And if I say 11, yes, it is working. Okay. So what the kind of series that I am trying to print here is that if I enter 10, then at odd places we would get the even number ka series, and at even places we would get prime number series, right? That's what I have tried to do, right? So again, I have not taken into consideration efficiency or complexity or anything, and this program by no means is efficient, but our first task is to build logic. So let us first build logic, what I have done, right? So what I did is I wrote two functions. First function is to get nth even term. What this nth even term does is, like if I pass 2 to this function, it will return me second even number, which is 2. If I pass 4 to this function, this will give me fourth even number, that is 0 2 6 8. It will give me 8. That's what this function would do. In the same way, I wrote another function which says get nth prime number. What this function is doing again, that if I pass 2 to it, it will give me 3. If I pass 3 to it, it will give me 5. That is, it will give me third prime number, right? That is what I did, right? How did I do this? I have this h prime function which we wrote yesterday. What does this function do? This function simply gives us returns us true or false depending upon whether the given number is prime or not. And here what I have tried, or what I have done is that again I have taken a counter. I am incrementing that counter if I get a prime number, and once my counter reaches n, I am just returning I minus 1. Why I minus 1 is because the last prime number which we get is I minus 1. After that I plus plus happens, so I is incremented, so I just decremented I and sent it back, right? That's what I have done. Now important thing to note in this particular thing is that, let us say if I am writing a loop, say somebody joined. Okay. So let us say if I am writing a loop for I equals to 1, I less than equals to say 10, and I plus plus, right? So my n is 10 in this particular case. Then what I need to do is I need to get 5 terms from the odd series and 5 terms from the even series alternatively. That is what I need. So what I have done is, right, I took the input from the user n, then I did m equals to n by 2. So essentially if my n is 10, then m would return me 5. M would be 5, right? And in this particular case, since this is an integer division, so if my m is or if my n is odd, that is if I am asking for 9 terms, right, then what I am doing is I am saying m is equal to m plus 1. So if say my n is 9, so if I want 9 terms, right, I will be iterating this loop 5 times. If my n is 10, again I would be iterating it 5 times, right? That is what I am trying to do, right? Then the next thing that I am doing is I am printing simply get nth even term, and I am passing I. So when I is 1, right, this would return me the first even number, which is 0. It should print me 0, right? And the same way I am passing that I to get nth prime as well. So this should also return me the first prime number, which is 2, right? The only difference is what can happen when my n is 9. Let's say if I comment this thing, right, and I compile it, right, and I pass first an even number, I pass 10, right? So it is printing me 10 numbers in the required series, right, which is absolutely correct, no issues at all, right? 5, it printed me 5 odd numbers at 5 even numbers at odd places and 5 prime numbers at even places. Fair enough, right? But if I pass 9 to it, right, again it did not return me or again it returned me 10 numbers in the series instead of 9, right? So that is an issue. So what I should do is, in the last instance, right, I should simply check that if my I is greater than m, means if I is exceeding m, or if I plus 1 is exceeding m, and my n mod 2 is not equals to 0, means if this is an odd number, right, in that case do not print it. I am using a negation here, if you can see it, negation. So it is negating this particular condition. What is that condition? This condition simply checks that my n is odd, right, and if my I plus 1 is greater than m, right. If that is the case, right, I do not need to execute this statement. That is what it means, right? Now with this simple explanation, did you guys get it, what I wanted to convey? If not, then I'll go into details. Somewhat, okay. Would be helpful if you explain again. Yes, I think it requires an explanation. Thoda bahut. Okay. Okay. Repeat. Okay. भावनाएं पहुंच गई. Okay. Now let us say if I comment the statement. Right. Now what I am doing is, whatever input I am getting, right. Let's say I am getting the input as 10. I am simply dividing that 10 by 2 and I am assigning it to a variable m, right? And if my n is odd, right, I am saying m is equal to m plus 1. Now do you guys get why I have done this? Yes, okay. Okay, right. Still I am doing this because what I am trying to do is I am trying to run the loop, right, for n by 2 times. That is what